right, next one. Our next company here has size. It has cutting-edge tech. It has neracity. And if you look at the recent announcements, our next company for your consideration here at RIU has demonstrated consistent execution in securing major mining company partnerships, big ones, 100 plus million in potential partner funding. That's impressive, across 7 projects and 7 million in partner-funded extension. You're on fire. You're happy, aren't you? This big fella here is Sam Spring, and he's going to walk us through the Kincora Copper story. Please make him welcome.
Thank you very much. I might not have to do the presentation after that intro. That was fantastic. The business model is a pretty different one. We're an explorer. We're looking for large copper gold systems, and as the title here sort of suggests, multiple shots on goal. And I'll run through that. We've got a portfolio, which again is a little bit different to your typical explorer, all of which are 100% owned, large-scale copper gold systems and predominantly focused central west New South Wales. The important thing about this portfolio is that it's been assembled by a team that's found big copper gold systems before, and the exploration strategy is being driven by that team with that track record. 8 times the opportunity really is the approach that we're looking to play with here, and again that portfolio approach. The company's DNA historically has been in the Southern Gobi, looking at a big copper porphyry system or series of systems up at the Bronze Fox project. That's Mongolia's world-class copper porphyry belt. We're at the process of seeking third-party investors and looking to recycle capital out of Mongolia into New South Wales, which is our focus. And since our pivot into New South Wales in 2020, we've drilled over 30,000 metres with our own shareholder capital. And as touched on, more recently have done 5 asset-level deals that have unlocked potentially over 100 million of partner funding. And that pivot and funding model supports more projects being advanced and less dilution. Within the portfolio in New South Wales, we've got one asset in the southern Cobar, our Condobolin project. We've just announced last week that we're drilling a discovery that was made there 10 years ago. I'll walk through this presentation in a little bit more detail of what we're looking to achieve there and what success looks like. And the 6 other porphyry projects in New South Wales, we've got one asset level partner that probably is well known, AngloGold Ashanti, the world's 4th biggest gold miner. They're earning in, they've spent about $6 million with us to date. Within that part of the district, they've spent 20 million so far. It's a 100k north-south strike. That's a big project and potentially a new province that we're looking for. And again, getting this business model aligned with what the nature of the targets are so that we can give our shareholders the best chance of, one, making a big discovery, but actually having a good return on capital and alignment. I'll walk through a few of the other projects within the portfolio as well, but really with drilling taking place in the northern part of the Junee Narromine belt with AngloGold Ashanti and Condobolin, they're the 2 that I wanted to flag straight up. What are we applying? We're applying a hybrid prospect generator model, and what that basically means is we're looking to take third-party capital, people that have done technical due diligence, and putting their money where their mouth is, with that dilution being at the project level. Rick Rule, well-known North American investor, he came on our register in September last year, recognising what we were looking to do and giving us capital with a 12-month lock-up to really look to execute on the business model. And we're relatively early in terms of still looking at further partnerships and making this business model more scalable. As Rick says here in this quote, prospect generators end up in a scenario where you generally do quite well exploration and success rates in terms of discoveries, where a partner brings technical capacity as well as capital, and you end up in a scenario where 1 + 1 = 3. And on the flip side, you're also able to have more projects that are being advanced. So again, more shots on goal. Again, putting the odds in your favour. So the prospect generator model, it's more of a common model in the North American market, not so common on the ASX. A key reason why I put this slide in the deck is one of the really common questions I have is, if you've got this dilution at the project level, what sort of return profile can you get at the listed company level? And historically, this model works quite well when you're looking for large-scale copper-gold systems. One great example is Greatland Gold. Back in the original discovery phases, the AIM-listed company, Greatland Gold, was a £50 million market cap. Newcrest, from funding that exploration at the project level, with that dilution being at the project level, supported Greatland's share price re-rating 20x to a 1.5 billion market cap. In terms of modern day Porphyry examples, there's a very good one for us in terms of Inflection Resources. It's exploring with AngloGold Ashanti as its partner, in some instances adjacent to us, in the northern part of the Junior Narromine Belt. AMark Resources is a very good Porphyry discovery, pre-resource in the Golden Triangle there with Freeport earning in. So again, the purpose of this slide is really to show, while you're reducing we feel the risk of making a discovery, don't give that upside away. So a snapshot, 48 million shares outstanding. I'll touch on the register a little bit more in a following slide. That prospector generator model, 5 partnerships to date, 100 million of potential asset level partner funding. So far we've seen 9 million of that go into the ground, supporting over 18,000 metres of drilling across 7 different licences. And again, that gives you multiple shots on goal in terms of making that big discovery and being funded by partners who are putting their money where their mouth is. Also uniquely is that we receive a management fee from operating the earnings. There's 2 earnings with AngloGold Ashanti. To date, we've received $500,000 worth of discretionary income and effectively revenue. I should say that our flagship Porphyry projects, where historically Kincora has spent the majority of our time and capital, are still 100% owned, and there's various strategies that we've got at the moment looking to bring in third-party assets and again make this business model further scalable. Through the course of a raising on the TSXV in September last year, which Rick Rule and Jeff Phillips came in and backed, and a more recent raising on the ASX, we're in a good cash position, $7 million on the balance sheet, and that's supporting us doing some very focused, capital-efficient drilling on a 100% owned basis, where we feel that we can have some relatively easy wins, add value to the assets in question, and really drive shareholder value. And that's where our Condobolin project is front and centre with that. Shareholder alignment's probably best spoken to on this slide here. 55% of the register is held by reporting insiders, i.e. board and management, that have to declare on the ASX TSXV what our shareholdings are, or held by 12-month restricted stock until September this year from that financing last year in North America. Market cap today about $48 million with $7 million of cash in the bank. So strong alignment from the board and the technical team on the board driving the exploration strategy, and some pretty sophisticated North American investors. In terms of board and management, a very strong technical team. We're an explorer where it's risk capital still, looking to make big discoveries. John Holliday, one of the foremost experts in New South Wales Porphyry, is responsible for the origination and discovery phases of Cadia. Peter Lehman, serial successes with BHP, best known there at Reko Diq in Pakistan. Panost, that was acquired by Grams. Backed up by a very strong board, Cameron McRae, who's here at the conference, 28 years Rio, through exploration, predominantly mine development. James Durant represents one of our largest shareholders, MD of Rarex. Luke Murray, Chief Operating Officer of our largest shareholder, the Brownfield Group, who have 2 operating mines in New South Wales. An advisory board that was formed after the Canadian raising last year. Kerry Sevenson's in the room. Really here to bolster the team as we ramped up a more expansive exploration strategy and really engage with the North American market. I'll skip through now onto the Condobolin project, where last week we announced we started drilling. You've seen a fair bit of consolidation, and a number of, I'm sure, other peers in this conference has talked to the M&A that's been going on in the Cobar district. Our Condobolin project was a historical mining field down at the southern end of the Cobar region, and that M&A really has been driven by high-grade mineral systems and underutilised infrastructure. We are comfortable drilling this project because we think it's one that a junior can really add value to quickly and capital efficiently. We've consolidated the historical Condobolin mining field. We're looking in and following up a good discovery that was made last commodity cycle, where you've got intervals there of 4 metres at 20 grams, 10 metres at almost 6 grams at shallow depths. As mentioned, drilling started last week. We're initially focused on an 8-hole program and looking to sort of with in mind what the predominant mineral systems in the Cobar district look like, which can be repeat systems, vertically extensive, looking to follow a template that's been successful at a number of good discoveries in the Cobar over the recent period. Again, Condobolin, you can see here, same scale to the CSA mine that Harmony bought for 1.6 billion last year. The Achilles discovery, which is a very good one by Australian Gold and Copper. What we're looking to do is test that down dip and repeat mineral system potential. The initial program is 8 holes. The first hole commenced last week, is looking really good. Looking to step down 50, 60 metres down dip, test a number of virgin targets with strong geochemical and geophysical anomalies that have been never tested here. And we think, again, this is low-hanging fruit for a junior like us. Focused on the Porphyry belt in New South Wales. Again, drilling at the moment, hole 36 with AngloGold Ashanti in partnership, hole number 17 within the northern part of the Junior Narromine belt at the Nevertire project. Nevertire, we think, is the most prospective porphyry opportunity in the northern extension of the belt. As you go further north, you go under post-mineral cover, and that's part of the opportunity really here. As mentioned, Inflection Resources has a partnership with AngloGold Ashanti. They've spent $16 million to date. What you're looking for here is really a new province, and the 5 licences that we've got in this agreement with AngloGold cover 100k north-south strike. To put that into perspective, that's twice the scale of Vicuña up in the central Andes, where the Lundins and BHP have effectively consolidated. So what you're looking for is not just one discovery, but really a new province. And the key there for this style of exploration is having the right partner to provide the capital and the technical support to really unlock that really large-scale potential. In terms of other projects within the portfolio, some of the ones that I'll draw your attention to are our Brownfield projects. It's quite unusual for a junior in any jurisdiction to have assets that are part of an existing mineral system where you've got world-class mines, and within Kincora's portfolio you've got a couple. Our Fairholme project's immediately adjacent to and on trend from the gold corridor at Cow, which is Evolution Mining's flagship project. To the north of that, you've got Coonaberry's Fairholme project, where Newmont's currently earning in. To the immediate east of Lake Cow, we've got our Cow East projects. These assets have got proven existing mineral systems, a lot of strong geological and geophysical vectors to follow up exploration. And you can see there that they've got quite extensive mineral footprints that have attracted the attention of majors in the past. Moving over to the Trundle project, we think it's a rifted off part of the North Parkes complex, North Parkes being Australia's second biggest porphyry mine there. You've got FMG earning in up to the north with Mile. One of the common themes you can see from both these inserts is these are districts that are primarily held by majors, and these are the sort of projects that really belong in major portfolios. We've had significant investment ourselves at Trundle. We've put $12 million of Kincora shareholders' capital to work, and what we're looking in conversations we're having with asset level partners is that sort of arrangement, similar to what we've got with AngloGold Ashanti in the northern part of the Junior Narromine belt, is that next leg up where we retain material upside to not just a small program, but giving these sort of large-scale programs the meters that they really need to take them to that next stage. And I guess you have a look in the porphyry space in central west New South Wales, you've had some very good discoveries with Waratah, for example, Link Minerals. They're very good examples of the style of prizes that we feel that Trundle and particularly Fairholme have within them. So catalysts. I know this is a busy slide, and I guess with eight projects, it always is hard to concisely tell the story. We're drilling at the northern part of the Junior Narromine with AngloGold Ashanti. Obviously, that will continue to have news flow. That program's expected to continue through the course of the year. We're drilling with our own shareholder capital at Condobolin. That program should be a 6-week program initially for 8 holes. We're already getting permitting going for a second follow-up program with funding already in place to follow that up. So again, keep an eye out there. Late last year, just before Christmas, we completed a hole at Wongarbin, the first ever hole completed at that project, co-funded with a New South Wales government grant. We've got a partnership there with Fleet Space where they have the ability to earn in by drilling targets themselves. At our Cowal East project, we've got a partnership with Atom Ionics, a new generation gravity provider. They will, at their cost, do some field work there. We're in conversations with potential asset level partners at Cowal East, Trundle, Fairholme, Condobolin. And I think upon the next major asset level deal, which I'm very confident that we'll see relatively soon, I think you'll start to see more value being ascribed to that wider portfolio. And again, this business model that is relatively complex, getting fairer value in the marketplace from where we are today. So catalysts uniquely from drilling, but also further deals. So thank you for the opportunity. We've got a booth number 10. Please pop by if you've got any questions, but thank you for the opportunity.